Everybody, I'm Nikki Noel from Wildflower Studio. Thank you so much for joining us today to create the August flower of the month. This is the poppy. We're going to show you how to create it with these beautiful little pieces inside. So let's get to creating. Okay, so you will get these pieces of glass times 2. You need to supply your own foil, your own wire. We do not supply that. And you can find those at any home store like a Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, any of those things. So what we need to do first is tin our pieces, which is really traditional in this 3-dimensional work. So that just means putting the solder on before we connect our pieces together. So to do that, you apply your flux. We're using the Amerway Tiger's Eye Gel Flux, and we're using the Amerway 6040 solder today as well. And if your piece moves at all, just go ahead and hold it down. Not a big deal. And it does help to work in the same direction so that your pieces cool down in between. It is not a steadfast rule. It's just a smart thing to do so that you don't burn yourself. All right, over here. So the difficulty in this flower is in getting it all connected. It's really just the first 2 pieces that are the hardest, but they're not terrible. Okay, let's turn over, go to side B. We're ready for side B. Let's go ahead and put our flux on. And we won't need to flux the edges because it's already getting a lot of flux whenever we touch. Okay, so again, go ahead and grab your solder. The wire that we have today, I believe that the stem is 16 gauge, and then the internal pieces, those little guys, those are 20 gauge. And there's not really a right or wrong. Whatever you use for your stem, you have to make sure it's at least like 16, 14's stronger. And again, you can find all of that at a home store, no problem. Okay, so that's side B. I should be able to pick this up, yep. So that's not too warm to the touch. And we're just gonna get our solder over. All right. So same thing with all of these guys, and just take your time. Keep your iron nice and flat to the foil, you'll cover more. Occasionally I see people trying to do this, kind of paint, you know, don't do that. Get as much contact as you can. That's how we transfer heat the best. So if you look, my iron is going to be nice and flat. Just helpful little tips for it to look better and for you to be as successful as you can be. Okay, so after we do this, the hardest part is putting the first 2 pieces together. And you can use those handy helpers if you want. I'm gonna demonstrate just with my own hands because that's the lowest common denominator for all of us. Maybe we just have our hands to work with right now. And we don't have other fancy tools, or we don't have anybody to help us, and that's absolutely fine. We can do lots of cool things. So the first 2 you want to attach so that there's somewhere like that. So kind of get an angle over here of how we want it. And we joke about praying to all the glass goddesses and making sure that everything's just perfect and in line. But we're just gonna tack these. Okay, those are tacked. I'm gonna change the angle of that a little bit. I'm just gonna heat, and I'm not gonna push. I'm just gonna kind of let them fall apart just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's a pretty good angle. It's just gonna look really messy, and really messy is okay. If you've ever seen a poppy, poppies are very, very messy flowers. And they're supposed to be that way for a reason, because they're perfectly messy. Okay, so the next one, let's go ahead and get this guy tacked on here. and then our next tack. And we just want to leave enough room for that next one. Okay. Now, what is really cool about this is it truly does not matter how straight any of these are or how lined up anything is, because if you remember poppies, they do not follow the rules that the rest of the flowers do. And that's okay. They're just their own guys. Okay. Finishing with that either Novocan black patina is really nice, or you could do the Jack's pewter, would be really lovely. Okay, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining Wildflower Studio, and happy glassing.